and welcome. This is Sacrediris, and I welcome you to Nostradamus Series, Episode 2. Aren't we iconic? So, this is the Episode 2 after the lunar eclipse, and we are going to discuss the solar eclipse today, which is going to have a long-lasting effect for the next 6 months and not just for the day or the days to come. First of all, before we start, I want to welcome you to my channel. To Sacred Iris, wherever you're watching from all around the world, you're most welcome here. And even if you're watching from another culture or system, absolutely you're most welcome. And also for my friends who are from India, every beginning of the new month, I'm going to be having analysis of Western and Vedic astrology. But either way, the message applies to you too, exactly because the systems might be different, but the end result, how the celestial alignments affect us, the interpretation is the same in the end. It does not change. It is impossible. So the message is the same in the end, even if we just take a different way to analyze it. So, my friends, this applies to you too. Before we go on, if anyone wants, for the people who want to contact me in person, privately, private consultations are available of different types, so you can find my information in my email in the description box below. Very soon, the English website is going to be ready because I have been running pages, esoteric Greek school. I have been teaching astrology, Pythagorean arithmosophy for a very long time, but in Greek. So this is my passion was always to make this channel in English language, so that my soul family, people who we are aligned together and are meant to come to me, can find me. So, my friends, let's start and talk about the solar eclipse. Oh, I need to be noting the hours of each zodiac sign. So, let's start with Aries first. Okay, so we are on 2:20, let's say. So hello, my Aries. I think that you were watching since the beginning of this video. So I welcome you to this astrological report. This is the second episode of our series. I don't know if you watched the first one. I'm going to make a playlist exactly for that. I have made it. It's the Nostradamus series. And this is the episode 2. So this is my passion. Astrology is my passion. I have been teaching astrology for many years in Greek, so I'm specializing in different aspects of astrology and systems. So it's new for me doing it in English, so bear with me if there are issues in expression. So this solar eclipse, as I was saying in the beginning, is going to have an effect for the next 6 months. So the effect is not going to end tomorrow or in 3 days, as typically what we have the effect for full moons, for example. So this is going to have an effect for the next 6 months. And solar eclipses are very powerful. They are destiny altering, and they cause sudden shifts in destiny. And there could be sudden endings, sudden beginnings, faded endings, and sudden shifts in destiny for all zodiac signs. On top of that, we have 4 major planets in retrograde. So we have Uranus, we have Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto, which is insane. 2025 has been an insanity, especially from August 23rd forward. So I am going to do the next episode this week, so stay tuned. I am so much in love with our Nostradamus series, so I even love the name. So second episode, the third episode, the next in this week is going to be specifically retrograde, so you're going to see all signs retrogrades, and then the reports for each new month and an important cosmic alignment. So this solar eclipse, my Aries, is happening in Virgo, and Virgo rules the 6th house, which means rules everything that has to do with health, everything that has to do with service, with order, with the daily life. This is under the rulership of Virgo. So anything that needs purification, anything that needs change, anything that needs to be brought back in order is going to be hit by this solar eclipse forward. Before I start, I need to tell you, my dear Aries, very important, because this is a general astrological report. So I don't really like the generals, but then again, I'm super passionate. So absolutely, you can have a lot of things that are going to match you from what I'm going to say, but because it's not personalized, so I cannot. I need your birth chart to see where exactly the solar eclipse takes place in your natal chart. You need absolutely to watch your rising after, first the rising and then the moon. That way you have a much more closer personalized idea of how it's going to affect you. So for you, my Aries, this solar eclipse is taking place in your sixth house generally, okay? Generally. So for the Aries sign, zodiac sign, takes place in the sixth house. So what does it affect? Anything in the next following 6 months that has to do with work, anything that is connected to work, anything that is connected to health, anything that is connected to daily habits and to daily life. What could this mean? Since the solar eclipse brings sudden changes and shifts, this could mean, for example, anything that could create a shift in your work. It could be colleagues leaving, new colleagues leaving or coming that will affect you somehow. It could be a manager leaving or an SEO or somebody who owns something, the company leaving or arriving. It could be, I've taken my notes here so that I have a train of order in English. It could be, for example, different contracts. It could be maybe you want to renew, I'm giving different scenarios here. It could be renewing a contract unexpected renews or ends. It could be relocations because of your job that is linked to your workspace. It could be volunteering in terms of work, anything that has to do with your colleagues, with projects, maybe sudden projects, shifts in the projects, new responsibilities in your job. Sudden responsibilities, new responsibilities in your job, and anything that, so maybe you have already started because it's not starting today, the effect has already begun. So it's going to intensify. Now it's intensifying and it's going to last for the next 6 months. So maybe you have already noticed these things as we were approaching to this energy. Also, it has to do with maybe it could be a sudden change in shifts, in your work shift, or the time where you're working, the time slots, your schedule. It also has to do with the health, because the sixth house is the house of health. So as Virgo is the ruler of the digestive system, and your zodiac sign naturally governs the nervous system, the migraines, the head, maybe as an Aries, when you get stressed, when you are under an emotional stress or crisis, maybe you get more headaches, maybe you get more migraines. So there is a combination here, since we have the solar eclipse in Virgo, which means that there could be under stress, under anxiety. Maybe you need to absolutely take care of your health, so your digestive system. Maybe solar eclipse is fire energy, so maybe there could be, for example, flare-ups. There could be inflammation, intestinal inflammation. There could be candida. There could be heartburn. So you absolutely need to take, so either you are going to be forced to take care of that and to pay attention to that, and you're also advised, in order not to let that happen, to take care of your health in terms of that. So what does it mean, take care of your diet? And for example, if I was to do a private medical astrology report, which is one of my specialties, I would absolutely recommend here, I will only say that to you, but I would recommend to a diet that is anti-inflammatory diet, especially for the intentions. It could be, for example, that you could be not forced, not in a bad way, but forced from the celestial alignments, okay? So what do planets do? Planets create circumstances and events, their energies and their alignments. So You might be brought to have to change habits, for example, whether these are daily habits, whether these are unhealthy habits that have to do with your health. Um, be very mindful of your nervous system and as well as your skin. So what you will be eating could have an effect on your skin related issues. As the skin, especially in Chinese medicine and in Chinese astrology, all systems collide together. The digestive system is directly connected with the skin, with skin related issues there. And with the solar eclipse, which is fire energy, is going to intensify all these things. So maybe you have already have issues and changes that suddenly are already occurring or might start occurring in your job. And I would give a personalized advice for you to take a medical. It doesn't mean that you have something is wrong with you. Everything is perfect. But if you already had in your mind to do a medical checkup, then this is absolutely the time to do so. You are absolutely advised actually to do this, to take a medical exam, anything that is health related that you had on your mind that you wanted to check, that you wanted to get an expert opinion. Absolutely, now it's the time to not neglect this and to do this. So let's see. And of course, because Virgo has to, so to sum it up, before I head to tarot, I'm going to pick one tarot card for you as long as an advice. I am adding this from this time. I'm going to expand it as we go along. So as Virgo has to do with order, it's the law and order zodiac sign. So, and it affects you because this is the sixth house in general that is illuminating. Now it's the right time that has to do with decluttering anything that has to do with your emails, your PC, your files that you don't need. Now it's the moment, delete emails that you don't need, and even declutter in general. So now it is the moment for decluttering. So my Aries, let's see, let's get a major arcana card for you. Only major arcana, because these are universal forces. The planetary alignments are universal forces, so they represent the major arcana card. So let's see a card of advice for my Aries for this 6-month period that is going to be affected by the solar eclipse. Give me a card for my Aries. My Aries, we have the Judgment card, so absolutely you will be called into making decisions. Right now, you will be called into making decisions. It could be very important decisions that could be life-altering. So decisions, yes, it collides decisions that have to do with work, major, important life decisions. You could be having announcements. Maybe you're expecting to hear an announcement for something. It's going to be positive, I feel. So you're going to be having announcements, news coming to you. It could be, since we're talking about your sixth house, announcements about your job, announcements that have to do with your work. If you're expecting news from there, and there is a possibility of expansion, fertile ground with the Empress. And also it could have to do, for some of you, the Empress, since we're talking about with the sixth house here, we can interpret them in many ways. I'm not going to interpret them in terms of love, but in correlation to the house that is being illuminated for each zodiac sign. But the Empress here could also mean, for some Aries out there, because this is general report, a female figure of authority. So it could be a female boss, manager, some announcements from them. Maybe you could get a promotion if, for some of you, this is something that you want. Maybe you could get a promotion into a higher level, in a higher position, that you are commanding more people, that you are a manager, that you become an entrepreneur, you do something yourself. As a boss figure, or it has to do with news that come from a female of authority or of a higher position, a hierarchy. So this is what I have for you, my Aries. Before you go, so I wanted also at the end to get an advice for each zodiac sign. We will see how it goes, because if they're love related, I'm not going to continue them for the other zodiac signs. So let's see, some advice for my Aries for the next 6 months and what this solar eclipse is going to bring to them. Whatever Spirit wants to show you. So show me for Aries and the solar eclipse. So this is advice. All right, so give me a moment. So show me for my Aries. Show me for my Aries. 2, you are enough and keep the door open. So I feel like there are going to be new opportunities for you that are going to take place, my Aries. So you see, keep the door open and you are enough. So right here, so I feel like the advice that you are having from your higher self is to focus on your self-worth during this time from now on, and know your worth, know your value, so that you can get better opportunities everywhere, whether that is in love. In the beginning I saw a card of love, whether that is in work, in career. By knowing your own value, you do not compromise into less than you deserve. When we don't compromise in less than we deserve, we command self-respect, and therefore we change our state and the circumstances are changing. People change, and the way that they show up towards us when we command more respect for ourselves. And keep the door open. So here your higher self wants you to know not to close a completed door on something that is on your mind. Keep the door open. Also in your business, keep a door open even in your relationships, because maybe there is going to be a new opportunity for something, a new opportunity. Keep the door open. So don't shut down people, don't shut down opportunities, because they can lead to something bigger for you. Especially with the Empress card that you had there. The Empress card is expansion, is abundance, fertile ground in different aspects of your life. So absolutely it collides with keep the door open, so that these opportunities for you to step up on a higher level can come right in. So I thank you very much, my Aries, and for watching. These are shorter, of course, than messages, than tarot. Do like the video. It really means so much to me, and also it can help. That's the only way. It's your superpower for the algorithm to find our videos, to push them to other souls that need to hear this. I wish you all the very best, and do not forget to watch your rising and your moon so that you can get a better idea of what exactly is coming. Thank you, my Taurus. I'm going to see you in a new video. So we are I'm sorry, Aries. So sorry for calling you Taurus. So let's go to Taurus 1745. Hello, my Taurus. How are you? I accidentally called my fellow Aries before Taurus. So maybe you were eager to be channeled. So some of you out there, I welcome you to our second episode of our Nostradamus series. Wherever you're watching from on this earth, I love reading your comments. So guys, don't be shy. Do comment. Tell me where you're watching from. You have been all so lovely, leaving so wonderful messages to me, and they mean a lot to me. Since this is our English channel, so my other channels and work in school is in Greek. So my friends, let's talk about the solar eclipse, my Tauruses. So I absolutely have to advise you to watch your rising and your moon, because these are general reports. So this is even more important than tarot, to watch the rising and the moon, because that way you're going to have a more closer idea, as personal as it could get. Now, because in your birth chart, it illuminates a different house. So the solar eclipse that has to do with destiny shifts. The solar eclipse has an effect of 6 months. So the solar eclipses, actually, they do not last only for 1 day or 3 days like lunar. So they have a lasting effect. And right now we are in a very intense period with retrogrades. So I'm going to do a separate episode this week, so stay tuned. Subscribe, turn on the bell if you haven't. That's the only way to be notified for new videos, my dear friend. So my Taurus, for you in general, the solar eclipse that has to do with sudden shifts in destiny. Faded endings, faded beginnings. It's happening in Virgo. Virgo is the zodiac sign that has to do with the law and order sign of the zodiac cycle. So, and Virgo rules, of course, health. It rules finances, not finances. It rules work, daily life. So my Taurus, for you though, it illuminates, the solar eclipse illuminates the 5th house, Leo. So absolutely this is important for you because this is going to have an effect for the next 6 months. So it illuminates the 5th house ruled by Leo. So what is this house? This house is the house of romance, it's the house of children, it's the house of creativity. So there are many things that I can say to you here. So this is like the 2 of Cups energy in tarot. So first of all, in terms of romance, so it could be, for example, to give you some examples of what could happen, beginnings or endings because of solar eclipse, one or the other. It could be a secret admirer who decides to pop up out of nowhere. It could be you receiving a confession of love out of nowhere from someone. It could be a love affair or a love situationship, or a love affair, dating someone you're dating, coming to a sudden end, or to someone you're seeing, someone you're dating, or it could transform. Because also it has to do with the children, so you need to be very careful if that's not what you want. If that is what you want, this is amazing. So it could be sudden pregnancy. So there is an elevated fertility here, so it could be sudden pregnancy news. It could be pregnancy cycles, that if somebody wants to start fertility treatments and starting a cycle during this 6-month period. For Tauruses, this has, of course, it depends on the personal chart, my friends, so I cannot say 100% because I'm not seeing the personal chart, but there is an intense, how can I say, an elevated fertility period. So there are a lot of chances for these fertility cycles, treatments that somebody might need to be very successful. Possible pregnancy news, of course, anything that has to do with children. So, for example, children. For other Tauruses, it could be that maybe a child is relocating, is moving because of studies or for whatever reason. Now, when it has to do with creativity, because Leo has to do with glamour, okay? So Leo has to do with glamour, with fame, with popularity. So if you are having, for those Tauruses out there who have a project, who have an idea that is creative, or you could have sudden recognition in something that you do, becoming more popular, attracting more clients, having more recognition, like popularity and fame in something that you're doing. Before, yes, I forgot to say, just to explain that in terms of romances, I'm taking notes because to have a flow in English, it's difficult doing it in another language, but it's getting better. So before that, I talked in a relationship, it could be anything. It could be someone you're dating, a shift. It could be a secret admirer. It could be an old flame returning, a third party revelation. So as I was talking about the fame thing, so it could be you becoming suddenly more popular, attracting more attention. Okay, attracting more attention. It could be because the 2 of Cups, which is pretty much the 5th house here, it has to do with collaborations. So maybe there could be a collaboration that is going to, if you're collaborating, I'm giving different examples for everyone out there. An ending in collaboration, and maybe you continuing solo, for example. And as far as creative projects, maybe you will undergo a new creative project, something that has to do with a hobby, an art, maybe a hobby of yours or something artistic. It could turn into, you could start making money out of it, for example, or it could suddenly take off. You could suddenly become more popular into it and attract more clients. Or sports, it could literally be a teacher or someone who teaches you these things, a hobby, a sport, a coach that maybe is going to quit, maybe it's going to change, leave, there's going to be a new one. So do you understand that we could sit here 1 hour telling you that what exactly could happen in a personal chart? It would be extremely more clear. So these are the things that could happen that are illuminated for you, my Taurus. In terms, of course, my Taurus, this is the house in general that has to do with luck. So with lottery, tickets, contests, this is a very good moment for you. So this is a very good moment for you. This gives the Sun card energy because the major arcana cards are universal forces and they collide with astrological alignments, with planetary alignments. So this is what I have for you, my Taurus. And when it has to do with your health, in the fifth house that is illuminating here generally is the house that controls the circulatory system. So anything that is connected to the heart, to the blood, be careful. So to be calmed down. You might notice that maybe you're having more palpitations, or when you're having more anxiety, or maybe if there is a blood flow blockage, for example, there could be more inflammations or swellings because of this. These are potential issues. So before you go, don't go anywhere. You need to watch the rising and the moon so you can have a more personal, closer to personal idea, and also of your loved ones, of the people in your family, people that you're interested in. So let's see a card of advice for you. So from Major Arcana, for my Taurus is a card of, I decided to incorporate it in this series. We will see for the next episodes how we can expand it. So for my, or maybe other decks that I don't have here, I'm temporarily here with my babies and husband. We're going to go to another house soon. So the other decks are there, my friends. So show me for my Taurus for the solar eclipse effect that is going to have on the solar eclipse effect on them for the next 6 months. Show me a message for my Taurus. So for you, my Taurus, we have the Hanged Man. Oh yeah, and I cut on this on the sun before. So which is what I told you is pretty much illuminating in you. So something that you are burdened of, so something that is burdening you, either in your conscience. I can never say this word. Something that is burdening you, something that you have invested a lot of, the Hanged Man, something that you have invested a lot of time, a lot of energy in, and I feel like it's going to have a positive resolution for you, but this is what is going to take your attention here. Something that you have placed a lot of attention, a lot of energy, and up until this moment, you feel like it's not going your way, because that's why you're feeling like the Hanged Man, that it's pending. So something that is pending, something that didn't seem to go your way, something that is burdening you. There could be a big shift there into that. And you are advised, my dear friends, to step into your power and to leave the victim mode and the victim thinking. This is the card of the Hanged Man. So in order to bring in yes, put yourself first. So literally, this is the card I wanted to give it to get an advice for you. Put yourself first, and especially in matters of love. This is not a love reading, but I'm asking what spirit, what your higher self wants to say to you in terms of advice for this solar eclipse. Because of course, in your personalized chart, it illuminates another house completely. But still, this does affect. This general does apply as well. Past lives, and get one more. Be present. Past lives. So for me, I feel like a person from your past could show up again in the present moment. So this is what I'm sensing. Past lives and be present. So I feel like you are advised. So it could be that a person from the past could suddenly reappear, especially with solar eclipses. And I feel like the advice for you from your higher self is, in order for that to happen, you need to shift your energy. And I do definitely see this as a combination, that the advice is to not to be lingering, so not to live in the past, So if this is happening to you and you're focusing a lot in the past, what happened in the past, what didn't work out, what went wrong, if things that you could have done differently, something that didn't go your way, it feels like you're stuck in the past. And the advice here from your higher self is that you need to focus into the present, how to be creative into the present moment, how to create into the present moment. So as soon as you shift your energy into the present moment and let the past be in the past and release this burden in the past, then there can be a different shift in the energy, my friends, for you. And this is very much the opportunity now with solar eclipses that they bring changes in destiny. I thank you very much for watching. Do watch your rising and your moon right now. And of course, I am very grateful. Do like the video because it really helps. And it really helps the algorithm to push it to other souls like you that are meant to see this message and would appreciate it. And I would appreciate it very much myself too. I thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to see you in a new video, my Taurus. Thank you. So we got my Gemini. Hello, my Gemini. How are you? It's so wonderful to have you here. How have you been? So we are in the solar eclipse of Virgo. So I'm going to ask you absolutely to check your rising and your moon right after, and of course of your loved ones that they're on your mind, because this is a general and it's even more important than in tarot, because this is a general chart. And in your personal chart, it illuminates different houses than what I'm going to tell you, so that you get a more personal, almost mostly closer to a personal message for you. So my dear friends, this solar eclipse, as I'm going to be saying for each sign, is very intense. The energy lasts for 6 months. Solar eclipse's energy lasts for 6 months and not just for a couple of days. Maybe you have already started to see influences. I don't know where, unfortunately, I don't have your personal chart, where what it illuminates in your personal chart, but solar eclipses, and we have 4 big planets in retrograde insanity. I'm going to make a new episode this week. Turn on the bell. It's the only way to see my videos, my friends. Even if you are subscribed, and I'm going to take it as if you are. So the algorithm is not going to show you my videos. We're a 2-month channel still, babies, and you know, it doesn't push it, my dears. So my Gemini, for you, solar eclipses bring big changes in destiny. And for you, it illuminates my Gemini, my fellow Gemini. So my fellow Gemini, for us, it illuminates in general the 4th house. So the 4th house has to do with home, has to do with family matters, with parents and ancestry. Okay, so I'm going to give some examples of what could happen here. So these are my notes for the flow of thinking in English. So home, what could it mean? It could mean sudden moves with your family, sudden relocations, changing your home, moving homes. It could mean literally anything that has to do with family or parents. If you have maybe, you know, a reconciliation with a parent, if you're not having a good relationship with a parent, or the contrary, a fallout with, it's not siblings, it's a fallout mostly with a parent. And to be more specific, the 4th house mostly has to do with female family members, a mother, an aunt, a grandmother, a godmother. So female, mostly family members, but not just. So I'm just saying even mostly. So there could be, for example, a reconciliation if there is a fallout, or the contrary. Issues, for example, happening. It could be changes in housing, as I said. It could be a family member relocating if you're living with someone. It could be that you could suddenly be called into like a caretaker, like you're having to take care of an elder person in your family, a parent, a grandparent. Home also has to do with leases, has to do with landlords, issues, renovations, Roommates, of course, people that you live together. So maybe you're not living with a family member, you could be living with a roommate, a housemate. Finding a roommate or a housemate if you're looking for, or you want that, or a housemate or a roommate living. Anything that is related to family and home combined, so it could be inheritances. So these things could not be happening already, but what do planetary alignments do, my friends? They create circumstances and events. So depending on what parts, what houses and what aspects they created, what houses they illuminate in our personal chart, these transitions, we can have a very clear idea of what circumstances and events can show up. It could be home drama in the family that could show up, mortgages. So these are the issues there that are being illuminated for us, my Geminis. Because the fourth, now in terms of medical astrology, because the fourth house is the house of Cancer, and it rules, for ladies, it rules the menses. So irregular periods, shorter, longer. So maybe there is going to be a change there. In menses, anything that is related to breasts and chests. If you are someone who wants, you need to do a checkup if you need to do it, for example, if you were thinking about that. Stomach. So because it controls the stomach, and especially the upper stomach, the solar eclipse is fire energy. So maybe there could be digestive issues in terms of stomach, like a heartburn, not being able to digest, for your stomach to digest correctly, and having heartburn. And of course, a lot of emotions. With the fourth house is the house of the moon. So a lot of emotions, being way more emotional, and your emotional state might be, how can we say, unstable. Your emotional state might be more unstable. So before you go, don't go anywhere. So let's see for my Geminis from Tarot, only major arcana, which are universal forces and connected to planetary alignments. Oh, the advice wanting to come for us on its own, my friends. At the bottom of the deck is the Strength. So the card that came out and flew is the Wheel of Fortune. So for us, with the Wheel of Fortune, so absolutely there are going to be unexpected changes, that they are going to happen by the hand of fate. Destiny changes here. Destiny changes. So for example, it could be a sudden plot twist, that out of the blue, that we are not expecting in a situation. I was telling about female family members, and it's very interesting that the card Strength is at the bottom of the deck, because it has to do in tarot traditionally with a woman. Okay, so with a woman, female, some female influence here. Interesting. So do let me know if this already applies to you. However, we should be expecting sudden shifts of change here in terms of fate, sudden plot twists that are going to take place. And let's get an advice for my Geminis before we conclude. Show me for my Gemini. Show me for my Gemini for this solar eclipse. Show me for my Gemini for this solar eclipse. Influence for the next 6 months, some generalities. So, my friends, there are going to be some changes for you. And so I see past lives, engagement, and separation. So either in the past you were in a higher level of commitment with someone, and there is going to be a transformation there. Maybe you're already separated with them, and then you could hear from this person again with the Wheel of Fortune that we saw before, because there is also the card of deepening. So I feel like there could be a change, a shift in a relationship where you could deepen. A relationship could deepen in the next few months. Okay, this could be a relationship with someone, a person that is returning, that in the past maybe you were in a higher level of commitment, and it didn't work out. or there is a commitment that is ending. So yeah, I don't know if this is a commitment of them, or maybe it kind of feels to me more that maybe this person, maybe you were together before and it didn't work out in the past. And the advice that I was saying at the bottom of the deck, actions speak louder than words. So always pay attention to what someone does towards you rather than what they say. So, and instead of just saying that you will do something, so this is what I'm sensing, to actually take more action, actually go for it. Go for your goals, for your dreams, take action rather than just thinking about it. So this is what I sensed. I thank you very much, my Gemini. I do like the video, so I'm going to be very appreciative of that, so that it can reach other souls just like it reached you. Write a comment to me. I very much love the Nostradamus series. So the next episode is going to be the retrogrades, because we got 4 major planets in this week before I do the next episode for the beginning of each month when we enter Libra in October. So I thank you very much for watching. Check your rising and your moon now, and for the people you are interested in, I'm going to see you in a new video, my Gemini. Thank you. So, my Cancer, hello Cancer, how are you? Welcome to, well, have I been saying welcome to your reading before? So, no, welcome to Nostradamus Series episode 2. So, yes, this is the second episode, Solar Eclipse, very big changes in destiny changes that is going to bring. It has a long-lasting effect of 6 months. The effect is not going to end right now. We're just beginning. And maybe you have already started feel intense period. You have already started feeling a lot of the things that I might tell you. Keep in mind, this is general, of course. I need to have your personal astrological chart in front of me to tell you exactly how this transition is going to affect you, which I don't. So I'm saying general insights. So for you, my dear Cancers, and absolutely check the rising and the moon so it's closer to a more personalized message. It's even more important than in tarot. Here, it's mandatory. So, all right, my dear Cancer. So, my dear Cancer, this solar eclipse is happening in the 3rd house for Cancers. It illuminates the 3rd house. The 3rd house, the house of Gemini, has to do with communications. So anything sudden shifts for the good or the not good, in anything that is linked to communications, to news, to social media. It is linked to the mind. It is linked with public speaking, communicating, and with siblings. So what could this mean? What could this mean? It could mean many things. In terms of siblings right here, it could mean, for example, the combination that you could learn sad news for a sibling or someone that is like a sibling, like a cousin, a sibling, news important about their life. Maybe they're relocating, getting married, something's happening in their life, very big, for the good, for the bad, for the good, for the bad, either dramatic into something that is life altering, sudden news about them, sudden news that in general, suddenly you receiving news that you were not expecting. It can also have to do with the neighbors for some of you. So I'm going to say it. So it could mean maybe issues with neighbors, complaints, problems, not understanding each other very well. Or maybe a neighbor is suddenly moving out or moving in. So for the siblings before, as I said, there are people who are like siblings. It could be, for example, a sudden celebration, crisis, drama, or good news, or life-altering decision for them. So in terms of communication in general, whether that it's in work, because I don't know where it falls in your personal chart, it could be misunderstandings in communication. It could mean fights, small fights, and these disputes and misunderstandings that could happen in communications with others. Be very careful in what you are signing in terms of contracts. So be very careful if you are signing something. Be very sure when you agree into something that you have 100% comprehended correctly what they told you and what are the hidden factors and what you are signing, and so that there are no misunderstandings in these things. Yes, so these are my notes. Gossip, rumors. So chattering is the 3rd house. Other people talking. So be careful of this, my Cancer. So there could be other people It could be people chattering, gossiping, talking. So this suddenly could happen in your work or somewhere. Issues with your phone. Anything, any device that has to do with communication. Issues with the phone, issues with social media applications. Okay, now for those of you, my dear Cancer, who want to create, for example, a page, a website, a web page, a blog, a social media page, so you could launch it. So, for example, for if a Cancer wishes that, this is a fruitful period right now to do that, to launch, for example, a new channel if you want that, or launch an application, launch a new page on social media or web page that you want. It also is the house that has to do with short distance travelings. How do we say metakinesis? How do we say this in English? Not transports. Yeah, transport. Sure, it's not long distance traveling. This is what I'm trying to say. It's not abroad. So anything that has to do with this, what does it mean? Maybe you want to travel somewhere, take the train, travel, not abroad, and there could be protests, delays, problems with the train. So there are issues that are going to affect your daily life like this at some point. Maybe there could be also for some of you car issues or the vehicle that you use to transport, for transportation, your motorbike, your car, suddenly, and anything that is linked to short trips. In terms of medical, my Cancer, in general meaning, in terms of medical report, so because the third house, it rules the respiratory system, so maybe you have already started that. You need to be careful for anything that is linked to that upper and lower respiratory issues. So all the things, so, and we're getting into the season, sinusitis, inflammations, sore throats, bronchitis, so not to let it escalate from there. And shoulders, it governs the shoulders as well, and all the respiratory issues. The solar eclipse, it has fire energy, so it creates inflammations in respective places. So a sensitivity is going to be there. So my Cancer, this is what I have for you astrologically. I want to expand this. I just didn't want this to last that long because I am going to make a new episode talking specifically about the 4 retrograde planets. There are 4 planets retrograde right now. And I'm going to make a new episode in a few days. And you should absolutely watch it. So turn on the bell if you haven't. It's the only way to be notified for a new video. You are not going to see my video unless you do. And now that I'm telling you because the algorithm is not going to show it to you on the feed because our channel is relatively new. So what I see here from you, the advice from tarot, from major arcana only, because these are planetary forces, universal forces. I have the Chariot for you, my Cancer. So, and I just thought, what did I tell you before? I told you that there might be car issues. Now, I'm going to tell you to be extremely careful if you are driving or riding a motorcycle. You need to be extremely careful this period that we are closer to the solar eclipse. Okay, and the effect is for 6 months, but now that we are even closer in the heart, it's even more intensified. So with the other retrogrades, absolutely be careful in that. You could also see the sudden, unexpected return of a person. So I do see an issue with a car, and there's be very careful, please. Okay. So apart from that, there is also a possibility of a sudden, extremely unexpected return of a person that has to do with love matters, with love related. An unexpected return from them that is going to bring a very big shift. A very big shift and sudden shift for you. Okay, so this is what I have for you, my Cancer. I thank you very much. Absolutely check your rising and your moon so that the message is a little closer to personal as much as it can get. And do write a comment to me. I love reading your comments. So I'm a Gemini. I love communicating. Tell me where you're watching from. If you have already started feeling these issues happening to you, do like the video. I will appreciate it very much if you do, because this is the way for the algorithm to push it to other souls who need to watch the message just like you did. So I thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to see you in a new video, my Cancer. 4940. Hello, my Leo. Welcome. So hello, my Leo. How have you been? So we are on episode 2 of our Nostradamus series. So I'm feeling way more comfortable now explaining astrology in English. I'm teaching it in Greek since a very long time. So this is a very big passion of mine. So this is a general report for the solar eclipse. The next episode in a few days is going to be the 4 retrogrades, the 4 planets in retrogrades. Going to say all signs retrogrades. Not miss this. So turn on the bell so that you can see this. My dear Leo, so this is general because I don't have your personal chart in front of me to see what house it illuminates this transit in your chart. So for Leos out there, this solar eclipse is going to have an effect for all of us for the next 6 months, not just now that it's occurring and is taking place. Of course, now it's intense, and as long as we are still in this energy this month or two, but still for 6 months, it can bring very big changes. So my Leo, for you in general, this solar eclipse, the solar eclipses bring shifts in destiny. Dramatic, unexpected beginnings, endings, faded. So for you, it illuminates in general the second house. So the second house is normally, the house of Taurus. So it has to do with money. It has to do with self-worth and values, and anything that has to do with money and your finances, which means that anything that can alter this. What does it mean, for example? It could mean sudden changes in income, for the bad, for the worse. I have to be sincere. We have to, I don't know. So I don't have your personal charts to see. So it could be sudden changes in income related to job, to possessions, even inheritances. It could mean that unexpected expenses could show up, for example. It could mean that old ways of you making money can collapse, but new streams can open up. It could mean also, because it has to do with, it's the house ruled by Aphrodite, Venus, so it has to do with luxury items, you receiving gifts, you receiving luxury items. It could have to do with changes in lifestyle in terms of money. So the advice here is to be careful not to overspend. So keep it within your budget and within your means, and not overexpend in luxuries, in terms of lifestyle, that maybe that could cause financial issues for you. It could also be because Venus, Aphrodite, rules creative talents. So it could be a creative talent of yours that could bring money. So that could be monetized suddenly, for example. So it's linked with prosperity. Now, the second house also is linked to food. So if you do not want to put on some weight, my Leo, so these 6 months need to keep this a little bit under control. So you might feel more like a foodie and wanting to have more indulgences. I'm just giving advice, okay, my friends. So in order not to bring, health problems. So you need to control your budget. Okay, so it's more advisable here to have a more control with your budget, because the solar eclipse can bring sudden shifts in your budget and your money if you mishandle. Now, yes, I have my notes. Anything that has to do with loans, with debts. So this is why you should have it under control. Could be negotiations over money that could go well. Sudden negotiations about money. For some, if you are separating and going under divorce, settlement about money. Now, in terms of medical astrology, my friends, the second house, the house of Taurus, it governs the vocal cords, it governs the throat. So it means that under stress and distress, with the solar eclipse amplifying this, it could mean that you could have, for example, angine, how do we say this? Sore throats, losing your voice, it's affecting your voice, your throat. Be careful for your thyroid if you need to do a checkup for your thyroid as well. So for you, it's the moment to focus on prosperity and to counter these effects of the solar eclipse, to focus on prosperity, because the planetary alignments, my friends, create conditions and events with their energies. So this we do not have control over, but what we have control over is with our thoughts and words, we are co-creating. So within these circumstances that are being created energetically by the planetary alignments, we can co-create. So now you can speak in a decree in alignment to focus on your abundance, which is very important. Think about abundance, speak abundance, think about abundance. So before you go, my friends, let's see a message for Leo for the solar eclipse and the effect on them for the next 6 months. So this is the major arcana only, as these are universal forces at stake above us. Minor arcana is for everyday issues. Oh, so for you, all right, so for you, my Leo, I have the Justice at the bottom of the deck, the Devil, and the Hermit, 2 cards that came out from you. So for you now, it's a moment to think about a retrospection. Think about your life. Think about what do you want to change in your life? Where do you want your life to go from now on? Like turning inwards about what you truly want in your life, what you truly desire. I feel like this is the moment for you to cut any toxic alliances and entanglements that you've been having, that they no longer serve you. Maybe or any habits, as a matter of fact, that they do not longer serve you. Any indulgences or habits, over abusing something that no longer does not serve you. So any toxic thing that you're abusing, now it's the time to find the strength to cut this off. And also something that has to do with legality here, with the justice, and as I talked about before, legality, and it could be in legality in terms of money there. So this is a general message, this is a general report, so cannot be more specific, but I'm just giving you what is going to take your attention more in these 6 months in terms of universal forces. So this is what is going to, karmic relationships, obsessions, things that you no longer serve you and you need to let go of. You are going to be kind of forced, from the planetary energies and forces into that it's time to let them go and it's time to cut these chains off. And something about justice, I don't know if it's in connection, justice and money, that is going to take your attention. Or do you have a court case or something that is going to come to an end, so that you're expecting something there? So that is getting too specific. I want to keep it general, so because this is a general report, but this is what is going to take your attention in the next months, my friends. So thank you very much, my Leo. Do check your rising and your moon. Like this video, I will appreciate it very much, so that the algorithm pushes it to other souls that want to hear this message just like you did, just like it found you. Thank you, my Leo, and I will see you in a new video. We have Virgo now. Okay. Virgo. Hello, my Virgo. Oh my God, we reached Virgo. I'm so happy to have you here. Give me 1 second to drink some water. So, my Virgo. What a month for you. How have you been doing? I need you to tell me in the comments how this is, all this astrological, how to call it, chaos is affecting you, because it started with the new moon in Virgo on your zodiac sign. It was a black moon, extremely rare, on August 23rd. We went through a lunar eclipse, and now we are having a second new moon in your zodiac sign, which is a solar eclipse as well. Insane. So how have you been? So how have you been, my Virgo? So this solar eclipse is way more intense than the lunar eclipse, because solar eclipses are destiny changing. They create changes that affect our destiny, our life path, and we do not have control over that. We have control with our word power, the power of the spoken word, and the power of our thoughts to co-create within the circumstances that planetary alignments create. But what I was trying to say, the solar eclipses do always create big shifts of destiny. So for you, my Virgo, as this is general, and I do not have your personal chart, so I give general insights. So you need to check absolutely here the rising and your moon in this order, right after, and of the people that you love and you're interested about, your children, your family members, whoever you are interested in, to see how this is going to affect you and sound even more personal. So, Virgo, for you, this solar eclipse, it's on your zodiac sign, which is a new moon as well. It's hitting and we have 4 big planets in retrograde. Insane. So it's hitting your first house in general. The first house has to do with the self, has to do with the identity, has to do with your physical appearance, with your body, how you present yourself in the world, your persona. So this solar eclipse is going to create, how can I say, it's going to force you. I don't mean force, I just cannot find the word that I want to say in English. So, force you, I don't mean it in a negative way, but it's going to force you into changes, into these matters. So what do I mean? Maybe suddenly you are going to have a change in your diet. Maybe you're going to lose a lot of weight, or maybe if you need to put on weight, I don't know. So a change in the physical appearance. Maybe you will have a drastic change in your hair color, haircut. Something that other people are going to say, oh, wow, it's a big physical change. This is what I mean. Your styling, the way that you're dressing. And you're also advised to that. So now it's the time for you to renew that. Renew your persona, renew yourself, renew your physical appearance. It's a perfect moment for you to do this. Or also it has to do with your self-identity. So for example, the way other people perceive you. Now it's the moment for you to stand in your power, be more confident, be more assertive. It has to do with personal rebirth for you. It's a moment of personal rebirth, of a glow up, of a transformation, a shift in your goals. So a shift in your goals, sudden decisions to have a new goal, for example, or to start new projects. The first house is like the magician in universal forces. So you're taking the initiative, you're putting on new projects in motion, and you're starting new endeavors. So now it's a good moment for you to step into your power, be more assertive, be more bold. The first house is the house of Aries, naturally. Be more unhinged, be more unapologetic, more confident, more independent. So this is a complete lifestyle makeover for you, starting anew, and like rebranding yourself, recreating yourself. Now it is the moment for you for that. Exactly, changes in diet, fitness. So maybe you will decide at some point to take up a new sports activity, a new fitness activity. Now it's the moment to do this. Any fitness activity, any sports activity, now it is the moment to do that. Your beauty, okay, your physical appearance, your body. Any plans that you were thinking for a long time and you did not put them into action, it is the moment for you to put them into action right now, because they could have sudden escalation. This word doesn't exist in English, I'm pretty sure, but you get what I mean. So, Virgo, as this hits your first house, the first house in the general chart of yours, The first house has to do with the head. So normally your zodiac sign medically governs the every Virgo that I've met in my life has digestive issues, especially with their intestines. I am sure you are not an exception to that. I have yet to met in my life someone who has not a Virgo that doesn't have problems intestines with their intestines. So naturally, this is what's governing you. So there could be flare ups there. Be careful with your what you're eating. Maybe it could create inflammations, intestinal inflammations. So anti-inflammatory diet, more seed oils off the diet. If I was to give you a astrological medical consultation, I would be saying more specific things according to your chart. But here I'm saying in general. But also, it could have an effect on migraines. Okay, tension with the head, pressure in the head, like headaches. What do I mean? Headaches, migraines. So you need to regulate your nervous system. Aries, the first house is governed by Aries, by Mars. And that's where the solar eclipse is hitting you. So that's what house is illuminating in the general chart. So my friends, this is what I have for you. Do not go anywhere. Regulate your nervous system. This is a fantastic moment for you to take creative activities, fitness especially, energy. So the first house has to do with activities where you, how can I explain, involve physical, not just creative painting and no. This is the fifth house. The first house has to do physical activities where you are moving your body. So, and this is going to help regulating your nervous system. My dear Virgo. So before you go, I'm going to see from major arcana only advices from your higher self how to navigate this solar eclipse and the effects that it's going to have for you for the next 6 months. Show me for Virgo and the solar eclipse. Show me for Virgo and this solar eclipse, how it's going to affect them. What advice do you have for my Virgo? Oh, for you, my Virgo is the star that is showing up. Oh my God. You have a oh, and the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. So listen to me. I feel like you're getting a wish here. You're getting a long lost wish or something that you were wishing for, a dream of yours, something that you were wishing it's about to happen. It's about to come true. I feel like this is a miraculous plot twist in something that you were wishing for a very long time. This is amazing. And it's going to happen out of nowhere. This is the Wheel of Destiny. So it's destiny forces. There is going to be an unexpected, it's going to feel like a miracle, an unexpected plot twist of something that you were long wishing for. And it's going to happen like out of the blue, like it's going to feel like a miracle. This is amazing. Finally, after everything you've been gone through in this month. So my Virgo, I thank you very much for watching, my friend. Do like the video. I would be very much appreciating that because the algorithm is the only way to push it to other people who would love to see this message just like it found you. And leave a comment. I love reading your comments, my friends. Don't be shy. Bring yourselves into my awareness. That way I can connect with you energetically even more. More chances because you did not find me by coincidence. We're aligned spiritually. So do leave a comment to me. I love reading your beautiful comments. Everyone has been nothing short but amazing and loving and fantastic. So tell me where you're watching from. I thank you very much. And I will see you in a new video, my Virgo. Thank you. So we are heading into Libra. All right. Hello, my Libra, and welcome to episode 2 of our Nostradamus series. I love that name. Isn't it iconic? So, my Libra, this is a general report. This is a general astrological report. So, as you understand, it would be extremely different if I had your personal chart and I could tell you exactly where these transits what are illuminating in your chart. But still, the message is going to have an application for you. So do absolutely, it's not like the cards where do check the rising in this order, the rising and the moon after, so that you get a more concrete idea and closer to a personalized message, especially for the astrological reports. So My dear Libra, we are in solar eclipse in Virgo. So the solar eclipses are not just lunar eclipses, which are also intense, especially they stir up emotions. But solar eclipses, they don't just stir emotions, they stir destiny. So they create destiny shifts, shifts in destiny, destined shifts. I said it in three ways. What does it mean? Faded changes. So it could be faded endings or it could be faded beginnings or both. And they have an effect for 6 months. So it's not that I'm late on making the video. It's not that it's going to be unaffected after 3 days. Oh, it's going to be very much affected. So for you, my Libras, it illuminates this solar eclipse in Virgo is happening in the general Libra chart in the 12th house. The 12th house is normally, I'm thinking of other words in Greek and other words come out in English. So it's not normally, but anyway. So the 12th house is ruled by Poseidon, is ruled by Pisces, by Neptune, planet Neptune. So this zodiac sign and this planet governs anything that is hidden, secrets, subconscious, anything that is hidden, which means that, what does it mean here? In solar eclipse, it brings sudden revelations. So it could be sudden revelations about pretty much everything, because I don't have your personal chart. It could be, for give you some examples here. It could be someone who is an enemy in disguise, or speaking bad about you behind your back, or a manipulator, somebody manipulating you in any way that is going to be exposed or revealed. People who are gossiping about you, or talking about you behind your back, or have other plans, so that they're not good. You understand what I'm trying to say? That they have, how do we say, hidden objectives that are going to be exposed and revealed. Hidden enemies, or hidden people who don't like you, and they try to do things behind your back in any area. Okay. It could be, for example, hidden affairs coming to light, hidden secrets coming to light, or things that you didn't know and you're suddenly learning. It could be confidential issues that you have confined to someone that could leak. So you need to be very careful from this moment on that you hear me. You need to be careful what you confine into people. So be very careful what private information you're sharing. Things that you would not want to be leaked in any way. Be careful who you are sharing them with. It could be, because the 12th house has to do with hidden, it could be someone disappearing from your life, or someone who has disappeared from your life reappearing, the opposite. Unexpected retreat. These are my notes to have my train of thought. So unexpected retreat, what does it mean? Maybe suddenly you are going to decide to, the 12th house generally has to do with introspection. So it's someone who's withdrawing. It is the zodiac sign where there's, the fan imagination is very much highlighted in this time. So you might start feeling that you want to spend time alone, that maybe you want to travel, go somewhere alone, maybe somewhere where there's water, because the 12th house is ruled by Poseidon, Neptune. Maybe retreat, go somewhere for some time as a mini retreat where there's water there. That could also help regulate you in this moment if you're feeling anxiety. So that could be something that will help regulate you. Be very much in terms of it is a time now for meditation. It is a time now for spiritual spirituality, approaching spirituality. You might start having more intense dreams, visions, or prophetic dreams, or being more connected to your subconscious mind, because the 12th house has to do with the subconscious mind. Synchronicities, for example. You have a bigger connection with the divine right now, with the spirituality. This is a moment where you, for example, could feel more connected with mystic teachers. There, you're in my channel. So, so my dear friends, or it could be also it is a moment of catharsis for the 12th house. What does it mean? If there is something from your past that is haunting you, a relationship, something from the past, now it is the moment to flash it out. As I say, because the 12th house is the water. Now it's the time to let this be flashed out of your life and released. Yes, it is a moment where you could have uncovered a spiritual gift. Maybe you will start seeing that your spiritual powers are amplifying and discover that you have a spiritual charisma that you didn't explore before. So my Libra. So in terms of medical astrology in general, so in your personal chart, it would be extremely clear. But here in the general, the 12th house governs the immune system. So you need to be careful because it might be compromised a little bit. So, it might be compromised under the effect of the solar eclipse. You need to be careful, pay attention to your sleep. Maybe your sleeping pattern could be affected under stress, vivid dreams, for example. So it's the immune system that is being mostly affected here. So especially under stress, I mean that under stress, it could hit the immune system. So before you go, let's see a message from major arcana only, as major arcana cards are the cards that are linked to destiny and universal forces, and therefore they are the only ones that can allow to give us a message here. So give me a message for my Libra give me a message for my Libra for this solar eclipse. How is it going to affect my Libra? A message for my Libra for this solar eclipse. Yes, so definitely I was expecting that. My Libra, I saw this one before, so in the previous zodiac sign, so I just wanted to see that it's not repeating because my mind is there. Absolutely, you have the moon, and the moon is exactly the card that represents the 12th house. Exactly the card that represents the 12th house. So it has to do with hidden emotions, hidden factors that come to light, things that you were not aware of, exactly what I told you in the beginning. And I believe that you might get a little bit overwhelmed emotionally at some point if you're not already, because you might already, maybe you already have started to feel these feelings, these overwhelming emotions. And what I'm feeling here is I need to advise you, if you allow me, it's public video, but do not turn into substances, my friend, okay? If you are, my dear friend, if you are under emotional distress, keep them under control. Do not turn into substances. So, and also for some Libra out there, be careful with your plumber. Yes, you heard me right. It's irrelevant, but it's not irrelevant. It's extremely relevant, but I mean, it's not according to the emotional distress that I was saying. It has to do with water and sudden problem or accident or problem with water, especially since it's hitting your 12th house. So I just wanted to say this for any Libra out there. So thank you very much, my Libras. Do check absolutely your rising and your moon so you can get a bigger picture, as closer as it can be to a personalized a general message can be. And this week, I am going to do the retrograde report, new episode, our episode 3 of Nostradamus. So do like the video, my dear friend, because I'm going to appreciate it so much. And it's going to help for other souls to discover it that are aligned to us and can join our soul family just like you did. And do write a comment. I love reading your comments so much. Tell me where you're watching from. If this already has started to have an effect on you, I wish you all the very best, and I'm going to see you in a new video. Thank you. So, hello, my Scorpio. Hello, my Scorpio. How are you doing? I welcome you to our Nostradamus episode 2, Solar Eclipse. So, on our episode 2 of our series, we are going to give some insights about the solar eclipse. So, if this is your rising or moon, you've heard me say this before. So, the solar eclipse, my dear Scorpio, is going to have a lasting effect of 6 months. So it's not going to end in a few days. The effect has already started. Maybe you have already started feeling a lot of the things that I'm going to say. Keep in mind, it's general, my dear friend. I don't have your personalized chart. The message would absolutely be different because I could see where this transit hits you and illuminates in your natal chart. That being said, my dear Scorpio, absolutely the message is you are going to find something interesting here. Absolutely check your rising and your moon so that it's closer to a personalized message for you, as personalized as a general reading can be. So for you, my Scorpio, so solar eclipses last for 6 months and they have a profound effect that alters destiny. So solar eclipses creates destiny shifts. Sudden. It could be faded endings, faded beginnings, depending on what house they illuminate for us. So my Scorpio, for you, it hits your 11th house. So the 11th house is the house that has to do with community, is the house that has to do with friends, is the house that has to do with technology. It's the house that is is the house of Aquarius and is ruled by Uranus normally. So what does it mean there? Since the solar eclipse is creating sudden shifts, faded. So it means that, for example, with friends, it could mean, for example, that sudden drama with friends. It could mean suddenly somebody might be exposed. A friend is being exposed, or something that they did or said behind your back, something like a betrayal, drama, maybe bad mouthing you, doing something behind your back. What is that? Excuse me, my dear friends, there was a message. So, excuse me. So it could be something related to friends. It could be also, for example, if it could be sudden drama with a friend, a misunderstanding, or a fallout with a friend, or the contrary. If you have a strange relationship with a friend that you could suddenly, for example, get along with again and get back together. It has to do also with technology. For example, any technological issues or devices, I hope not, sudden issues with your laptop, with your PC, with your computer, television. It has to do with technology as well. So for other things, for example, that could happen, or a community, it has to do with people that you know. It's the social entourage. So it's the social. How do we say that? How do we say this? The social. The people that we are socially connected with. So anything there, any drama, anything exposed there that could happen. It could be sudden shifts in friendships and relationships with people that we know. Alliances, or in the opposite sense, it could be creating relationships or social alliances that could be of a great benefit for you. On the other hand, so for Scorpio, so also in terms of medicality, it could be social groups that could dissolve, for example, as I was saying before. In terms of medicality, the 11th house of Aquarius, it governs the calves, it governs the ankles, so it could bring any sort of issues there for you. For example, cramps, it could bring cramps, especially with inflammation with the solar eclipse. So this is what it brings for you, my Scorpio, especially anything that has to do with people that you know. So I would advise you to be very careful what you're sharing with people, with friends, with people in your social circle. Don't. I'm not going to say don't trust them, of course, but because it could illuminate issues there, be more mindful. So the issue for me, I don't like doing astrology. I teach astrology for a very long time. So in my esoteric school, Greek school, this is just the channel that is new in English, but it's something that I have been doing for a long time. My passion was, my dream was to start this page in English. So I created the channel 2 years ago and I never posted. So I'm very excited now. But what I'm trying to say, what I want to say here, I don't like doing astrology predictive, which very well can, but it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be preventing, in a sense. So understanding and knowing what are the circumstances that are being created by the planetary alignments, which are higher logos than ours, but at the same time use them in our favor and use our creative power within the circumstances to turn them in our favor. So that being said, my dear friends, so to give an advice here, be careful with other people that you are connecting with, that they're in your social status. Now, solar eclipses are out of our control. So it's not something that you can control what is going to be exposed or what is going to happen with other people. That's not under your control. But what is under your control is to be careful of what you are sharing maybe with them, so that it won't be turned against you in any way. Not to overshare, be mindful of the people that you are hanging out with, if they have good intentions, if their intentions are clear. So let's see, my friends, for my Scorpio. Let's see for my Scorpio. And of course, as your zodiac sign always governs by nature, the reproductive system, with the solar eclipse there, be very careful in terms of sexuality. And I already see the devil at the bottom of the deck, so absolutely confirms. So be absolutely very careful with sexual encounters that you're having with people. Be protected, because the solar eclipse illuminates that. Be very much careful of your reproductive organs, if there needs to be a checkup, but especially when it comes to do with physical interactions, my dear Scorpio. So let's see. Show me for my Scorpio for this solar eclipse and the effect that it's going to have on them. Show me for, I'm only having the major arcana because these are universal forces aligned with what we're reading. Oh, they wanted to come out. The best card in the deck that I absolutely love. Oh, how amazing. So there is a brand new beginning. Something is going to start for you unexpectedly, my dear Scorpio. So I'm going to say it out there. So this is very personal for one Scorpio out in this world that I don't suppose will see this. But anyway, if you have an estranged relationship with a boss, a father, an uncle, a father figure, right? So if a father figure in your family or in business, it's a boss, like, there is absolutely going to be reconciliation with this person, 100%. So if this is the case, it is the case for one Scorpio out there, but for others of you, I do see, because this channel, ladies and gentlemen, it's for everybody, but I do see success, even in terms of business. If you are an entrepreneur, for example, I do see success, successful endeavor, successful contract, successful business, successful deal. Anything that you want to close is going to be crowned with success. But also, I just really mean it, that if you have an estranged relationship with even a husband, okay, it could be a father figure, boss, someone higher in hierarchy than you, or even a husband here, there can be reconciliation with this person. So this is a message that wanted to come out for you, my Scorpio. Take what resonates for you. It's general. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed creating it. And my dear Scorpio, I'm going to ask you to like this video because I will very much appreciate it, and it's going to help. I have to say it because it's the only way. The channel is new and algorithm has not picked up our videos yet. So this is the only thing that I'm asking you, so that the video gets pushed to other people. You have a superpower. You reacting with me does help. So comment, tell me where you're watching from, how this affects you already, what's your rising and your moon. And I'm going to see you on the new episode. Turn on the bell if you haven't, because you're not going to see my video even if you're subscribed on your feed. And it's the only way if you turn on the bell. Next episode is going to be in a few days, the retrogrades. Ooh, we got 4 big planets there. Thank you, my dear Scorpio, and I will see you in the new video. Thank you. Hello, my Sagittarius. Oh my God, we are in Sagittarius. How are you doing, my Sagittarius? I hope you're doing amazing. Please allow me to drink a sip of water. We feels like live, so I do not know how to pause the video. This does not a option exist in my phone, and yes, so it's live. So my Sagittarius, I very much welcome you. So to our episode 2 of our Nostradamus Iconic series. So this is going to be the astrological report, and just know that it is valid no matter when you watch it, because pretty much these solar eclipses are very powerful and they have a long-lasting effect of 6 months. It's way more powerful than the lunar eclipse that happened like less than 10 days ago. The solar eclipse is happening in Virgo, and solar eclipses always bring their higher forces, the planetary alignments. They always bring unexpected changes in destiny, which means unexpected and sudden endings and sudden faded beginnings. So according to what house in our personal chart it illuminates, then we can see this transition exactly what circumstances it can create and how it can affect us. So, and what is the point of knowing that? The point is not to know that as doom, or, the point is to know that so that we can co-create. And if in our personal chart we see something, for example, difficult, that we can overcome this. Now, that being said, here it's a general, of course, so I don't know where it falls in your personal chart. But for my Sagittarius, is this in general, the solar eclipse illuminates the 10th house for my Sagittarius. The 10th house is ruled by Capricorn and Saturn. So this is the house of Capricorn ruled by Saturn. So it is the house that rules the career, that rules destiny, that rules authority, your career and your authority. So what does it mean with the solar eclipse illuminating this house? It means that it could bring a career shakeup, changes in your career, changes in the authority, people of authority, high hierarchy in your company. Maybe you are going to be the one to get a promotion. Maybe you are going to be the one to get a position of higher hierarchy, whatever it is that you are doing in your job. Maybe it is going to be changes in your career, a manager that is leaving, a new manager coming, a boss that is leaving, a new boss that is coming. It could also mean that you can gain more authority in your business, in your career, in your work. You can gain more authority, could have a higher position, have more respect in what you do. It is linked also to public image in terms of these things. So it could mean a public image transformation. It could mean that you could have a change of career, a decision to change your career and follow a new path, a new calling. And that an authority figure either enters or exits your life. So anything linked to this is exactly the house that is illuminating you. Other things, for example, I have my personal notes, relocation because of career. It could be relocating because of career. It could be For example, be careful that there might be family problems because you might have excessive career demands. Maybe you're going to be focusing more on your career, working more. The circumstances are going to happen that way. Maybe you will be asked to work more, do more shifts, take more projects, and that can bring some tension there because of this. So it could be more responsibilities in the career as well. When it has to do, yes, oh yeah, of course, I had noted here, you could have a fated new job. So there could be a change of career if this is something that you have been thinking and wanting, but also it could be a fated job, an interview, a fated job that goes well and unexpectedly it alters your path. For example, you alter your career path. Now, in terms of medical astrology, the 10th house of Capricorn governs the skeleton. So it governs the knees, it governs the bones, the joints, and the skeleton. And because the solar eclipse is fire energy, which can create inflammations in the respective parts. So maybe it could bring problems, back pain, inflammation in the joints, in the knees, musculoskeletal issues that you might be feeling. So this is what I have for you, my Sagittarius, and anything linked to this house. Of course, that would change in your personal chart because we would see where the transit happens in your natal chart. However, do check your rising. Don't go anywhere. We will see the major arcana. Do check your rising and your moon in this order. So for a more personalized message and of your loved ones. So let me see. Show me for my Sagittarius. Show me for my Sagittarius and the solar eclipse. Oh wow. Well, you have the opposite of before. So, my Sagittarius, do you have a problem in your family with a female, a mother, a female, an older female of yours? So, if there is an issue like that, you are going to get reconciliation with a female family member, mother, older sister, and if there is something that is necessary like this. If you wish to have a child, which is wonderful. I do see absolutely the child of light here. I do see possibility so that this solar eclipse, this sudden change of fate, if you were wishing to get pregnant, now, don't say these things, but I see it and I'm going to say it. There's absolutely the opportunity for that of you getting pregnant, increased fertility, getting pregnant, a child of light here coming in. And also, if you are a person of business, if you want to create a company, a project of yours, a new career path of yours, getting a promotion, absolutely. So I do see you in a place of authority, higher authority and higher hierarchy in terms of business as well. For example, getting a promotion, becoming an independent or to entrepreneur, that it could expand its fertile ground. This is amazing. So this is what I have for you, my Sagittarius. And when you are under stress, I'm going to say it out there as an advice, do not lean to alcohol. With a solar eclipse and you being a Sagittarius, stay away from that. So this is what I have for you, my dear Sagittarius. I hope you enjoyed it. Do like the video, so I am going to appreciate it very much so it can reach other souls just like it reached you. And leave a comment, let me know where you're watching from, if this has started taking effect of you, affecting your career already. And I am very much going to love having you around on the next video. Thank you very much. See you. So now we are on Capricorn. Hello, Capricorn. Hello. Let me write it correctly. 138.27. Hello, my Capricorn. How are you? We are in Capricorn finally. Amazing. So, my dear Capricorn, I welcome you to our episode 2 of our Nostradamus series. So, we are going to talk about the solar eclipse And as I've been saying in all the signs, I don't know if this is your rising or your moon, if you heard me before. So my Capricorn, this solar eclipse is happening in Virgo. It's a new moon as well. Tomorrow is the equinox. It's been insane astrologically. We have 4 major planets in retrograde. So a lot of people are returning, leaving, returning, a lot of fated events that are happening. Solar eclipses have a very profound effect on us. They are creating changes in destiny, and they have a profound effect for a long time. So it's not that the solar eclipse is today and that in 3 days it's not going to have an effect anymore. Absolutely not. The effect is going to last for 6 months of this solar eclipse. So it's general report because I do not have your personal chart in front of me to tell you exactly where this transit is going to happen in your chart. However, my Capricorn, it hits in general, the 3rd house for you. The 3rd house, the house of Gemini, ruled by Hermes, by Mercury. So this is the house that governs communications, that governs, what do I have here? Oh no, I'm sorry. These are my own insights. So I've been talking over 2 hours now. So I'm sorry, my friends. So the 9th house, and I was thinking, no, this is not the 3rd house because the 3rd house is another zodiac sign. So my Capricorn, no, it hits your 9th house. So the 9th house of Sagittarius ruled by, oh my God. By Jupiter. So listen to me by my Capricorn. Illuminating your 9th house, it means that it illuminates international travel, higher studies, and also spirituality, higher levels of spirituality. On a higher level, at least, or on a lower level, it can illuminate problems with substances, especially for alcohol. A lot of Sagittarius people, when they are going under stress, you're a Capricorn, but it illuminates the house of Sagittarius, when they are in a chtipimeno, as we're saying in Greek astrology, which means in the very negative sense, they turn to that. So I'm not telling you that you're going to turn to that. I'm just saying, my dear Capricorn, that it illuminates this house. What does this mean for you? Anything linked to travel abroad. So as the solar eclipses bring faded, sudden shifts of destiny, good or bad, faded endings, fading beginnings. So it could be a travel abroad that you have planned that might not take place or might shift and change, or if it's unplanned, suddenly you might be, you see that a sudden travel or relocation or travel, something that has to do with the travel abroad might show up. It could mean, it could be anything linked to papers and passports and anything that you need to travel abroad. It could mean even contracts, relationships with somebody who is from abroad. Meeting a person from another culture, or this person coming back into your life. So connected to abroad, which means that they're originally from another culture, from another country, from another nationality. Anything that has to do with higher learning and studies. So for example, for others of you who are students, maybe a change into the establishment. Maybe you're going to be accepted into another program. Maybe you're going to go do studies abroad, higher level of studies abroad. For example, new courses, new certifications, new diplomas, maybe starting learning something new. It could be changing the fields of study, for example. It also has to do with legalities. So maybe if you're having a legal matter that is long-term happening, now is the moment that there is going to be a sudden shift into that. If it's an issue like a lawsuit, a legal battle that you're fighting, it could be a resolution there suddenly, finally coming to pass. Other things here, because they have to do, the 9th house has to do with higher spirituality as well. It could mean that there could be a mentor that could enter your life that could have a life-altering influence on you, for example. Yes. Other issues, my friends, in terms of medical astrology now, the ninth house, the house of Sagittarius, rules the liver. So it rules the liver, the hips, the sciatic nerve, the flexibility. So with the solar eclipse happening there, so it is a moment now in medical astrology that I would advise, for example, not to eat things that, for example, can create an inflammation in the liver. Seed oils is number one. Or you might see that under stress, there could be sciatic nerves, that may be cramps there or tension, and to focus more on your flexibility. So this is what it governs for you, my Capricorn here. So let's see from Major Arcana card. I'm very interested to know if you have something that has to do connected with abroad, someone from there, if you want to do dealings with abroad. This could also, if you're not having this opportunity yet, it could show up within the next 6 months. So show me, we are asking only the major arcana to align with the planetary forces. Show me for Capricorn a specific message for them, show for this solar eclipse and how it's going to affect them for the next 6 months. Show me for Capricorn. Give me a second. Show me for Capricorn. What is that, my Capricorn? All right, my Capricorn. So I do see a person returning into your life. I feel like this is someone, either both of you are obsessed with each other, or it's a karmic relationship, someone that you cannot let go of, and this person cannot let you go either. It could be very much somebody that you have a very passionate connection with and physical connection with. This person is returning to your life. It could be a Scorpio for some of you. This person is returning into your life. It's very clear message to me. So this is what is showing up, my dear friends. But this person is, you need to be a little careful. You're seeing me a little bit reluctant because yes, my friend, this person is coming back to claim you again. But with a devil card here, this person shows up toxic threats, extremely important here. So it's up to you to see if you want this person, if you want to be with them in this state of mind that they're showing up. Could be someone who has addictions. It could be someone, I hope not, who is, I hope not, abusive in any way, maybe with their words, or show me for an advice for my Capricorn. Oh, we do have one. Separation. Is this a person that you have been in separation with? I do see this present. I feel like this person is very close to, and pay attention to the signs. Yes. So I feel like, my friends, there is a person, if there is a separation happening right now in present moment with someone, this person is going to return. That's the message that the major arcana wanted to show here. So solar eclipse, it's going to bring sudden shifts there. But as I said, you need to be very much attention to the signs. So here it doesn't mean to the signs, pay attention to this person's behavior, not to get yourself, my friends, entrapped into a toxic situation that you cannot get out of. So, but this person is returning. This person is returning. This person is returning. So this is what I have for you, my dear Capricorn. Of course, it's general. Keep what resonates and the advice, my dear friends. Check your rising and your moon so that it's more closer to personalized. And do like the video. I would very much appreciate it so it can reach other souls that are meant to hear it. And leave a comment. I love reading your comments. What part resonates with you? If you're dealing with things abroad, people from abroad, higher studies, or however this resonates, how it's affecting you. And I will very much be very happy to have you in a new video. Thank you, my Capricorn. So let's go to Aquarius. Hello, my Aquarius. Welcome. We reached Aquarius. How amazing. I hope you're doing wonderful. So in this episode 2 of our Nostradamus series, I absolutely love saying it like this, we are going to talk about the solar eclipse that is happening today in Virgo. So the effect is going to last 6 months. You heard me right. So it's not going to go away in 3 days. So the effect is still going to the effect is still going to be there and be quite strong and important for the next 6 months. And also we have 4 big planets in retrograde. So these all things are very intense. I'm going to make a new video in the new days. Turn your bell on so that you can see this. So my Aquarius, sorry. I'm sorry, after talking for 2 hours in another language, it's not easy. So I got it. Solar eclipses are very intense, way more intense than lunar eclipses that mostly affect the emotional state. Solar eclipses are life altering. They can create faded changes in destiny, alterations. So faded beginnings, faded ends, shifts in destiny. For you, my Aquarius, for the generally for Aquariuses, because I don't have your personal chart in front of me, so please keep what resonates. For you, my Aquariuses, the solar eclipse is illuminating the 8th house for the zodiac sign of the Aquarius. The 8th house is the house of Scorpio, governed by Pluto, not Aries. So in Hellenic astrology. So it is the house of death, of transformation. I don't mean literal transformations. It is the house of power. It is the house that has to do with sex, and that it has to do with physical interaction, and also finances. So it could bring sudden shifts into these domains, unexpected events that can happen into these domains. What does it mean for you? It could mean, in terms of finances, sudden financial shifts, debts, inheritances because of someone passing away. God, I hope not. So it could mean shifts within sexual relationships. So if you're having a physical relationship level with someone, it could bring changes there, either ends or someone returning. If there is, for example, a toxic relationship, like the Devil card in the tarot, so if there is a toxic relationship with someone, or a toxic intimacy, that could bring an ending there, or a transformation. Because it illuminates here the Devil card, my friends. So it means that if there in your life is a controlling partner, an abusive partner of any level, any toxic intimacy, any toxic partnership or relationship of whatever level, especially on the physical, this might end, or this might escalate with the solar eclipse. So this is absolutely something that you need to be very much careful of, my friend, because this is going to be higher from above us. This is planetary alignments create these circumstances, so you need to be careful. Other things now, because the 8th house, the house of Scorpio, in terms of medical astrology, governs the reproductive system, sexual organs. So absolutely, you need to be very careful of that when there is passionate encounters, that you need to be protected. You need to be careful if there are other partners that you are with. Be absolutely very careful here during this period. Also, this is a moment where you might become more interested or drawn to the occult or to mysticism. This has to do with the 8th house. You might feel that you are more drawn into it now, more fascinated, more drawn. And because the solar eclipse naturally for you, my Aquarius, it governs naturally, medically, your zodiac sign governs the ankles, the calves, the varicose veins, spasms, cramps. So the solar eclipse under pressure and tension, it could amplify these issues for you. So this is what it hits for you, my dear friends, for my Aquariuses. So it has to do with power. So any relationship where there is a partner who abuses power over you, or so you need to be very careful. There can be sudden shifts or escalations in this relationship, and you need to be careful. So show me for my Aquarius. Oh, hidden secrets, hidden factors from what aspect? So show me for my Aquarius. These are only the major arcana cards that correlate with the planetary alignment, so we can see a message for you. So what I have for you, my Aquarius, here, I feel like, yes, what did I say? Wasn't I telling you that for you, the representation is the devil card? It's at the bottom of the deck. And I'm kind of having a weird sensation for an Aquarius out there. They might be in a situation like this, and you need to be very careful. So what I'm feeling here is that there is a person that might return into this 6-month period, someone that maybe is giving you the silent treatment right now, someone that you are in no contact with. It could also be a revelation about another person, because the lovers, it also has double meaning, the soulmate or the choice. So it could also mean that you need to ask if you are going to be in front of a choice in terms of love, you need to follow your intuition. And not be lost in false light and make the wrong choice with the devil card here. So it could be that you would need to make a call between two people. Could happen. So another thing is somebody could break no contact, for example. But I was sensing it before and it came out. I do see a person showing up in devil energy. So my Aquarius. And this needs to be, that could cause emotional upheaval. It could be someone who's abusing substances of some sort. I don't know what they're doing, drinking. They could be abusing substances. We absolutely need to get away from them. So, but I'm calling it for what it is. If you are in no contact with them, and this is the person who's showing up, okay, but I hope that this is that you are going to be called to choose between two people as well with that, because the devil and the lovers is completely different energy here. So this is what I have for you, my Aquarius. We're going to see in a tarot reading more another time, if I can channel your situation more. These are major arcana cards, so these are destiny forces. So I thank you very much for watching. This is a general insight, so do watch your rising and your moon so you can get a more concrete message. And also for the people that you're interested in, check their placements as well, your family, your friends, someone that you're interested in. I thank you very much, and do like the video. It would mean a lot to me. I would really appreciate it, because you are like that, actively helping so that the video, the algorithm can show it to other people that are meant to hear it. And I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next report in a few days. Thank you, my Aquarius. See you soon. And we are on... Oh my God. Hello, Pisces. We are in Pisces. Unbelievable. Hey, hello, my sweet Pisces. How are you? I hope you're doing amazing. So how are you really? So this solar eclipse is very intense for a lot of people. So we are in the solar eclipse happening in Virgo. So this solar eclipse is going to have an effect for 6 months. So it's not just like the lunar eclipse that the effect is a little bit more concrete. 6 months with 4 big planets in retrograde. Next episode is retrograde. Turn on the bell to see it, my friends. So for you, my Pisces, the solar eclipse brings shifts in destiny, faded endings and beginnings beyond our control. And because it's happening in Virgo, it means that anything that is not aligned with the correct order in our life, that doesn't belong in our life anymore, it's going to be cut out some way. For you, my Pisces, last but not least, my dear, this solar eclipse is illuminating in general, not in your personal chart, of course, I don't have it. So in general, it illuminates the 7th house. The 7th house of Libra, governed by Venus. So this is the house of partnership, of commitment, of marriage, okay, and of contracts in terms of collaboration in this sense. So for you, my Pisces, as it illuminates this house for you, and as the solar eclipse has to do with unexpected endings and beginnings and shifts in destiny, it could, I'm going to give some examples of what this could bring, or is already happening, or is going to influence for you. So it could mean, for example, for some of you, changes in the status of a marriage. If it is a marriage that is failing, so for example, it's going to be directed towards an end. Or others of you are going to get unexpected proposals of commitment and of marriage and of partnership. It could mean, if you are in a long-term relationship right now, or in a marriage, that it could be tested during this time. It could mean unexpected revelations or things coming to surface related to this, to your partnership and to your relationship. On the other, so for the negative, so depends, because I don't have your chart, it could mean revelations, maybe finding out something, there is something there else. In your marriage or in your partnership, or maybe it's going to be tested. For others of you, it's going to come to an ending. For others, though, it could be the opposite. So it could be a fated meeting someone who is going to end up being your life partner or your spouse. A fated union beginning, unexpected proposal, unexpected commitment. Okay. Any news that have to do with that are linked to a long-term to a partner here. So maybe a partner decides to move, something linked to child and them. So a career, something with their career. So it's linked to the partner. A partnership could also be in business, and a marriage is a contract, in a sense. When you're getting married, you're signing. So in business terms, it could be a collaboration, a partnership, that it can be affected. But mostly the 7th house, because also Libra governs legal matters, but the 7th house mostly is for the marriage, partnerships, and commitments. All right, so my friends, in terms of medical astrology now, in terms of medical astrology, the 7th house of Libra governs the kidneys. It governs the kidneys, it governs the adrenal glands, cortisol. So if you undergo stress, also under stress, within 6 months, you have more sensitivity into that, which means that you might have higher levels of cortisol, more stress. Your adrenal glands could be overworking. You might be careful of your blood pressure. It is controlled by the adrenal glands. The fluids, or the solar eclipse is fire energy. So kidneys, it could be inflammation into the how do we say this in English? Into the system with the kidneys. Okay, the urological system, the kidneys. So you need to be careful in that, my friends. This is what illuminates. Before you go, we are going to ask only the major arcana cards that they are linked to universal forces of what they want, a card that linked to you, that this solar eclipse for the next 6 months, what is the theme? In terms of universal factors that they want to show to you. So show me for my Pisces a universal card for my Pisces for this solar eclipse and how it's going to affect them for the next 6 months. I have a card. Okay, so you need to focus on healing, my dear Pisces. For you, it's imperative to start focusing on your health, to start focusing on your healing, even going on a short retreats to start rejuvenating yourself. I feel like that there are going to be a lot of sudden news and decisions that are going to take place that they're out of your control, announcements in anything. So it could be decisions and announcements. We were talking about the seventh house and partnerships. If you want to get married, if you want to be in a commitment, I have friends all over the world. So absolutely, you could be getting a proposal here. Announcements that have to do also with legal matters, signing legal contracts, legalities. So absolutely, this is something, and it's going to have a positive effect with the divine, with the temperance. It's going to have a positive outcome there. So expect sudden announcements, proposals. It's what I was telling you, proposals, announcements, that they're going to be positive and that they could also be tied legally, that they would have a legality factor in them. So this is what I have for you, my Pisces. I hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed making it. Do like the video. I would appreciate it very much. It would really help other souls like you finding the video. The algorithm is not pushing it in another way. And I love reading your comments. Let me know how this is affecting you already, or just tell me where you're watching from. I love reading your comments. Do check your rising and your moon, absolutely. Even more than the tarot cards, because here is the only way that you can get a more personal approach, like closer to a personal reading to your chart, okay? Absolutely do check the rising first and then the moon. And for your people in the people in your mind, their placements as well. Thank you very much, my Pisces, for watching. I wish you all the very best. Have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next episode in a few days. Thank you. Bye.